This evening, our guest speaker is Cassandra Kelly. Cassandra has lived and worked in Africa, Asia, North America, Europe and Australia. She served as a director of Starlight Children's Foundation and Children's Cancer Institute Australia, and served as Vice President in Women in Banking and Finance, and is a member of the advisory board of the CEO Sleep Out. In 2003, Cassandra co-founded Pottinger, a company which provides financial and corporate advice and data analytics to Australian and international businesses, and a recipient of the ABA's recommended Apoya Award for 7 years in a row. Cassandra's track record in assisting organisations to embrace new opportunities, challenge the status quo, and seize business opportunities placed her on the list of 100 Women of Influence in Australia by the Financial Review and Westpac. As a passionate advocate for helping women connect across industries from public and private sector, she has co-founded the Glass Elevator. In addition, she supports initiatives that assist the disadvantaged, including the homeless. She is director of Flight Centre Travel Group, All Press International, the UNSW Foundation, and, if that's not enough, an ambassador for 1 Million Women. Ladies and gentlemen, Cassandra Kelly.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor Ian Martin, graduates, supporters, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks like the little one might be going to sleep. The good news is they get older and revenge can be sweet. This morning, I was in the US Consular Office in the heart of Sydney. I was surrounded by my 3 young children. And I was nervous. Unusual, I thought. Why the nervousness? "Mum," said my 11-year-old son, "I'm nervous." In fact, it turned out that all of us were nervous, oddly so. All except for my 7-year-old son, who was simply hungry. So as you sit here about to receive a document, or as having just received a document of great significance, I was waiting, we were all waiting, for our documents, for our passports to be returned with a stamp in it. A stamp of great significance for our family at this moment. And so in that moment, I reflected on the common passport. The common passport that all of us here share. We have all been blessed with the passport of life. And the question for each of us is how we use it. How do we make it count? So I was reflecting on my own life in preparing for this evening and wondering, what on earth could I possibly tell you? How could I hope to inspire you, given all your own achievements? Say anything at all that would leave any benefit. It isn't so much my individual choices, nor my individual experiences, that make me, me. It's the guiding principles. It's my core beliefs that I live by, that I stand for, that I uphold. They are, in fact, my passport. So what shall guide you? What are the attributes that will help you to make a difference in a world that so urgently needs your help? At a time when, yes, change is so rapid, and when the availability of basic resources is becoming increasingly scarce. When right here at home in Australia, our regard or lack of regard for human rights is more than just alarming. I know things. I've got some knowledge, but it's not enough. The older you get, the more you realise how little you know. What are you going to need beyond the knowledge you've acquired thus far? You're going to need commitment. You're going to need compassion, empathy. We need you to be curious. We need you to wonder, to question. Critically wonder, look at the agendas, and reflect and ask yourselves, what for you is really the truth? We need you to collaborate. And what we don't need is leaders who seek to remove uncertainty. We need leaders among you who will embrace it, who will look for the gaps and the opportunity. I grew up in a small town of Sydney called Collaroy. My father was a policeman and my mother a teacher. My mother tried to improve my father, and he ended up studying at this university. We had insufficient money. I often didn't wear shoes, but I had parents who believed in learning, parents who believed in standing up and making a difference. In fact, before I dressed myself like this today, in fact, just 2 hours before this commenced, I was with some of my team indoor skydiving out at Penrith. And I thought to tell you that it reminded me of the risks I've taken, of the risks I've taken in not just the jobs that I've taken, in the moves that I've made around the world, and in the issues that I've chosen so publicly to stand for and or against. But the risks of actually turning jobs down and choosing a path that may seem lesser because I stood by my passport, I stood by my own moral compass. And I hope you will use your passport, your gift of life, wisely. I hope, and I will not apologise for reminding you it is an obligation to serve. As you're sitting there wondering how to afford the everyday living of life, remember that it is still an obligation to find a way to serve. Don't waste your passport. Take a risk. You don't need to jump out of a plane, but yet nothing is achieved by standing still. And for those of you who know UNSW well, we know that here we simply never stand still. Thank you.